Happy Thursday, everyone. My name is Michael Gibson, and I'm talking about why I go to church. I pray that all is well and that everyone is having a blessed week, as I am having a blessed week. You know, your weeks have a lot to do with, your expectation, how you're going to view them. So if you say you set your mind to, I'm going to have a good week, then you probably will have a good week. If you set your mind to, I'm going to have a crappy week, then you'll probably have a crappy week. I mean, there's really no way to say that. I'm going to do as I traditionally do. I'm going to hit the share button in a couple groups, and then I will get started on today's topic. Again, I do pray that everyone is having a great day, because truly this is an opportunity just to share hope, faith, and love to everyone. And I'm just grateful to God to be alive. I'm grateful to God that He's given me, just one more chance to say thank you. We live in a world where there's often not a lot of gratitude. I just am truly grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for having breath in my body. I'm grateful for having my faculties. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my wife. Grateful for my children. Grateful for my siblings. And I'm just truly grateful. There's often moments that come around that can humble you in a way where it's like, wow, I got a lot to be grateful for. And I can truly say I do have a lot to be grateful for, because, I made it to take my kids to school today in one piece. So my mind, my heart is full. My mind is full because someone didn't make it to see their kids today in one piece. I live on the East Coast, for those of you that don't know, and there was an accident today. And there was a fatal accident this morning, and someone didn't get to make it home to their family. So I'm grateful that I'm able to, make it home to their family, to my family. I'm very grateful for that, because just a few months ago, I was that person in the accident. So for me, it's a blessing to be able to make it home to my family. So again, my name is Michael Gibson. I thought about why I go to church. And today I want to talk about when the world sees your color. It's important to know that not everybody is a champion of you. So everyone in the stands, everyone in the stadium is not always cheering your praises. They're not always happy that you're successful. So many people come to see a game played, but not everyone is rooting for you. Oftentimes in sporting events, there's a home team, there's a visiting team, and depending on how large the event is, you can get people that don't even like sports. For instance, everyone knows people that watch the Super Bowl, attend Super Bowl parties, and their intentions is not to even watch the game. They want to participate in the festivities. They want to make sure that they see the commercials. They want to make sure, hey, we get to watch the halftime show. So there's many people that attend festivities that are not rooting for you. In this walk, as a believer, it can be lonely, because when you begin to mature and you begin to become focused, people can walk away from you. People that you thought was with you really weren't with you, the person. They was just with you because you was in the right moment you were in the right vein for them. Apologize for my signal as I'm watching it. It seems like it's going in and out, so I don't know how well this is being conveyed, but I'm going to stick to delivering what God has placed in my heart, and prayerfully, that this gets through and people will be able to hear me correctly. The weather where I'm at is a little challenging today, so that could be affecting, my signal that I have. But getting back to the point I was making, that there will be many people in the stands wanting to see the show, but are not advocates for you, that are not cheering for you, that really are there because the event is monumental. The event means something in society. Our life is monumental in the eyes of the Creator God. Our life is meant to be an expression of Him, and we are to serve back to Him. Now, some people have twisted and distorted the Word of God and say, that there is no God, there's many ways to God. If God loved us, why does bad things happen? There's all kind of stuff that gets distorted and get twisted. But in my heart, what I believe is that, we serve a loving Father. The greatest love that someone can give you is freedom. But freedom costs you. Someone has to sacrifice for you to have that freedom. And oftentimes, when you live in a world that is diametrically opposed to God, when you want to walk closer to Yahweh, Yeshua, there's going to be opposition because you are changing from one system to another system. And when you change from one system to another system, your point of view is now changed. Who can influence you, who can lead you is now changed. And when this message was dropped in my spirit, it was like an aha moment. Because oftentimes it's a challenge to walk in society and with that people just don't have love. They're not in love with you. They may respect you, and everybody in some way wants to be liked. Everybody in some way wants some form of compassion known towards them. And we look at the status and the state of this society, it's a challenge to not say things because there's just so much going on. There's so much that's just like, wow, this is not what I see. The stuff that I see what children go through, how children act, how children respond. So anyway, getting back to why I'm grateful today, there was a car accident, and someone didn't make it home. It shut down. It was basically gridlock outside of my neighborhood. It's normally 10-minute ride, probably not in that, about 5 minutes to get my child to school and to go through the traffic light today. My daughter was traveling with her mother, and it took like 30 minutes. They didn't even make it to the first light, and they had to turn around. And they came back home, and it was just a little different because I wasn't expecting to see her face. Even though I knew that there was an accident out on the highway, when they came home, I was just a little bit concerned because I was like, what happened? I thought you were on your way. So I say all of that just to say that make sure you love on those that are close to you. Make sure you embrace them, because you really never know when, it's going to be the last time that you get a chance to embrace. And I would hate for anyone to not see a loved one in the state of the living and say, I wish I could, I should have said, I love you, gave that hug, gave that embrace, because, life is really, hey, Susan, thank you for stopping by. I don't know how long you're going to stay, but it's good to see your name on the screen. And I pray all is well with you and your family. So I would just say, give that brace, give that good hug, just do all of that because, life has a way of escaping us wanting more. So why I go to church today, the topic, when the world sees your colors. So one day I was sitting in my home and I was just looking and wondering, why is things challenging all the time? Sometimes it just seems like, can there be any more opposition? God, I know you love me. Father, I know that you have, good thoughts and plans towards me. But it seems as though every time I turn around, there's somebody trying to hinder me. There is someone, getting in my way. And I just want to do your will, God. I just want to worship you. I just want to let the world know how good you are to me. I just want to be happy. I just want to share, the goodness of God. That's just my goal. And many times when we give our heart to God, that's how we start. We start on fire. We have the zeal because it's like, wow, God is great. God is worthy to be praised. I want to tell everybody just what God did for me. When I didn't have, God did. When I thought there wasn't a way, he made a way. When doors were shut, he opened it. And then years down the line, you lose that zeal. And oftentimes we lose the zeal because family, friends, and associates, it seem like they are hindering us, that they really don't want us to be the best version of us. Friends, family, and associates, sometimes it feels as that they are disappointed that we're doing better than they, we're happier than they are. So that's where this message came from. So I go to church because, the world has seen my colors. And when I look through the word, the best thing about it is that it gives me an answer to some of these questions. It gives me the ability to keep a zeal when everyone else is telling me to lose the zeal, when everyone else is telling me everyone comes out the closet and they're telling me to go back in the closet, metaphorically speaking. When everyone is saying that you guys are extra, it doesn't take all of that. When the world is saying that we need to do a new thing, we need to change our approach. I'm here to tell you today, and I just want to give you a reason on why people are not as happy for you when they see what God is doing in your life. So just bear with me over the next few minutes, and we're going to go through this. And prayerfully, like I said, that this may speak to somebody's heart, because my goal is always just to be obedient to what God has placed in my soul, in my heart, and to hopefully allow someone to see that there is a reason to keep going to church. Because the church is not the building. We are the church. We are the church. So the church is not the building. We are the church. You can go to church in your home. You can go to church in your car. You can go to church in the strip mall. You can go to church any and everywhere, because wherever you are assembled, and if God is in your heart, the presence of God is there. So I don't want you to think of the church as just the building. The building is the sacred, safe place that believers hollowed out to congregate. But when you read the Old Testament, God met Moses, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. He met people in the wilderness. He met Daniel in the lion's den. He was with Joseph when he was in the pit. God, when they were in church. So you were in jail. So you can have an encounter with God regardless of location, because God is a spirit, and that spirit ought to be inside of you. Geographical location is not as important as the communication is with God. See, many people are teaching Jesus, but they don't have Jesus teaching them. I learn and sup and sit at the feet of God and begin to read this word. And when we read this word, the word is designed to change us. It is the engrafted word, the word that sticks, the word that transforms, the word that takes out what was broken and make it right. It says that in our weakness, he is made strong. So when the enemy comes and plays with your mind and says that I have this thing, everything strong enough to cover. God's love is strong enough to anything else. So I'm just going to stick with what God is. I believe I'm back. So I can't fix, you know, the devices upstairs that would go forth in a manner that I want to go forth in. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to switch a button here, and I'm going to see what happens. Let's see what happens if I switch networks. Let's see. My stuff is spinning, 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 spinning. All right, I'm on the screen now. We're going to pull up the scripture, and hopefully this thing self-corrects, because on my screen it's telling me that I have a great signal now. And I see over here my other monitor that I have that I'm beginning to move. So I'm going to go to James chapter 1, verse number 23. So for those out in YouTube land, if I have to, I'll come back on later and just bring forth what God has placed in my heart. Because sometimes I can't control what's going on with the signal. Or maybe I'll just come on, through my phone. Let's see here, because I'm still spinning. So how about we do this? I'm going to log off, and I'm going to log on through my phone, and I'm going to see if that makes any difference, because I see in my second monitor that I'm spinning. So I'm going to end this broadcast, and I'll come back on in the few minutes that I have to try to complete this thought of when the world see your colors. So please stick with me.